Hey, frag heads and fragrance lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel, coming back at you with another fragrance review. As always, we're pulling out another interesting fragrance. We got one from Unda Prisca, a brand new niche brand on the scene. Almost nobody knows about this brand. I made a friendship and I got to know the owner, and they sent me this little sample vial here for to share with you guys. And this one is called Territa. A very interesting fragrance. I have never smelled anything like this before. This is a very interesting juice here. So first off, the notes here are things like different roses. A Bulgarian rose, African rose, there's carrot seed, and a lot of interesting notes going on in this fragrance. There's this supposedly champagne-like quality to this fragrance, and a tiny bit of smoke. Um, and again, did I mention the carrot seed? This is very interesting stuff. Now, I do detect the rose. The rose is a big player in this fragrance, but you don't get any of the floral aspects of roses that you might be familiar with. This is more of the rose almost becoming musky. I get more of a Bulgarian rose than anything, and there are different types of roses with different smells. Bulgarian rose is very clean and almost soapy. It definitely has a body to it, and it's very soft around the edges. It's a very nice rose. I think a lot of people, are probably again familiar with just synthetic roses. They might not be familiar with what these roses can smell like, and it's very interesting, this fragrance. There is a little bit of interesting dryness to this fragrance. Maybe almost smells like there's a natural undercurrent and a little bit of life of like some kind of spice in this fragrance. I can't exactly pinpoint what that is. I can tell you that carrot seed is used very well, and this might be one of the fragrances where I can really detect the carrot seed in a big way. Carrot seed almost has this piercing amber-like quality to my nose. There are different types of carrot seeds with different smells, but in this fragrance, it has more of like this piercing, almost amber-like note to it. It's not overtly sharp when I say piercing. It just has this brightness to it, almost like a bright musky quality that comes through in the fragrance and really brightens it up and brings it up. I do have to say that this fragrance does feel a little bit dry overall. And as far as roses go, you're not really getting any of the powdery nuances, and there's not really any sweetness added to this rose. So this is a completely different rose kind of fragrance that I've ever smelled before. It's dry. The champagne booziness does come through, but it's more of like a flat old champagne, almost like the residue after all the alcohol is burned off. It doesn't really have any of the boozy aspects to it, any of the bubbliness or the freshness that I would usually think when I think of alcohol, especially with champagne being so bubbly. So this is very much like the residue or the stale or flat champagne, and it's not a big player, but it does round out the edges and does add a little bit of a golden texture. Um, this fragrance almost feels like it has an incense aspect to it, but it doesn't quite have that. I think it's described as having somewhat smoky notes, but I really don't detect any of the smoky qualities to this fragrance. It is a very different fragrance, once again, from anything I've ever smelled before. If you're looking for a different rose, if you're a rose fanatic, if you like very interesting fragrances, as this one might be something that you might want to try out. Performance-wise, this one is all natural perfumery. A lot of work was made into getting these notes, but it is natural perfumery. And with naturals, they don't last as long as synthetics usually, unless it's the deeper, darker notes. They can last a good long time, like the inky vetivers and the coffees and the tobacco absolutes. But this fragrance is going to give you more in the 5 hour range, maybe 6 hours. It's not bad performance for what it is, but if you're expecting an 8 hour beast mode fragrance, this is not your juice, and probably not your smell either. If you're just expecting, Dior Sauvage like fragrances, this fragrance is a little bit low on the projection, and it's as maybe average, sillage. So people are only really going to notice this fragrance on you when you get close, when you're in a conversation, when you're in their personal space. And some people really like that when a fragrance speaks with you, it doesn't really beg for attention. This is definitely on the opposite side of a fragrance that's going to announce your presence and beg for attention. Maybe somebody who wants to go to a party, a rave, or the club. This is the complete opposite side of fragrance or perfumery. Um, what do I get with the compliment factor? I think that this is a good smell. I don't think it smells unpleasant, but it is quite unusual, but not so unusual that it's off-putting. It's different, but it's not strange, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. This fragrance is different. Even though I do feel like this would be more appropriate for a lady, this fragrance is quite unisex. As it dries down, it almost becomes somewhat ambery in tone. A very interesting switch up. A lot of these natural perfumeries are very complex in very subtle ways, and as this fragrance dries down, the little subtle nuances of almost amber come through. Amber can be a hit or miss with people, but I found that they thought this was decent or nice. They didn't find it particularly exciting or interesting, but it can come off in a very make you smell very interesting and be kind of a conversation starter because you aren't being particularly bold with your fragrance, but you do smell nice in a very interesting way. For me, Unda Prisca fragrances are definitely for those who are trying to express themselves and would definitely wear a fragrance that's for them. They're not really wearing it to be mass appealing. They're not really wearing it for the compliments. So with the compliment factor, I'm going to say that it's not really here, but it's not off-putting and it's not disgusting by any means. It's a nice juice, but I don't expect that you'll get a lot of compliments with this one. Compliment factor wise as well. Again, completely unisex, but I think that ladies would more gravitate towards this one, but just slightly. A guy can easily wear this fragrance. So, what do I think about the price? I believe these are 50 mils. I could be wrong. They could be 30 mils. It's kind of hard to tell, but they're about $80 or 80 euros. For the quality, for what you're getting in this fragrance, I think that this is actually a great value. They're giving you great, a lot of effort went into making these, oils to creating these oils. A lot of effort went into blending and creating very interesting fragrances with lots of twists and turns, but they're kind of subtle twists. Like you're going down a windy road, but it's not jerking you left and right dramatically. It's just a little bit, just wiggling you in a direction. If that hopefully that makes sense as well. I'm feeling very descriptive today. If that helps you make sense, if that makes sense as well. Anyways, very interesting juice from Unda Prisca. I love the brand. I love what they're doing. I'm excited to see what they're going to pull out in the future. I would love to see like a coffee leather fragrance from them. I would absolutely adore that fragrance. I think that these fragrances are nice. Could they boost up the natural vanilla and make this more mass appealing and just throw vanilla in their fragrances? They certainly could, but I don't think that they're ever going to do that. But I would, of course, like my tobacco leather vanilla fragrance. I would absolutely love that. But this is certainly for the artisan lover out there. Who do I see wearing this fragrance? I'm not sure. Maybe a lady, maybe French, maybe Polish. A lady who's a little bit upscale, likes the color orange. Definitely very posh and very, understated. Doesn't have to say a lot to get her point across and communicate. So I definitely think that this is definitely a fragrance for a smaller group and a smaller demographic. But interesting fragrance nonetheless. I hope that you enjoyed my review today. I'm going to wrap this up here. And I do think that these are good values and interesting fragrances, especially for the money. Some natural fragrance brands, I know they're dealing with expensive ingredients, but they seem to be charging an awful lot of money. You can get into these fragrances and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to experience some well-crafted niche fragrances, artisan fragrances. So thank y'all for being here today. This is the Centaur Fragrance Channel. Let me know, what did you think about this review? Did it sound interesting? Did you like the review? Did you like the sound of this fragrance? Do you know anything I should try out? What should I review next? Let me know in the comment section below. And while you're at it, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. I would very much enjoy that. And please hit the notification bell, because if you don't, you won't get uploaded. And I upload very regularly, so you don't want to miss out. Anyways, I'll see you next time, my friends. I wish you the very, very best. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Wear what you love and rock what you got. Have a good one, my friends. And bye.